Good morning, team. Wow, what a pump. Waking up, sitting down, and seeing us in a 250-point ripper. Absolute ripper this morning. So lots to get through here as we start to search and take out all that liquidity at the highs after a beautiful fade yesterday into higher time frame demand. Everything we talked about yesterday early in the stream starting to come to life. So let's always start off on, oh, didn't mean to do that one. Definitely not ending it. On the daily chart. All right, daily chart, what do we have? Move from lower bowl to 5-day, to 20-day, testing this downtrend move now. Now, downtrends, I don't really pay too much attention to them, but we know that this is where the market's gravitating towards. We also need to be careful buying high today. This is your fib zone. You're sitting right into this golden pocket. All right here. We rejected yesterday. You're still in this golden pocket. You're still in old supply, but it can reach higher today. There are some levels it can go and aim for. Moving down into a slightly lower time frame, and this is where we're going to get some of our clues for the day. All right, into this hourly. Pay attention to this hourly. What were we looking for yesterday? Any of those who joined me on stream will know I really wanted a back test towards these areas right, where's my arrow? Right into here. Now, maybe I should have pulled this up to the top of this block and you will see it held it. All right, so pull back on the hourly to create that flag, a nice deep pullback. That is a much better buying opportunity for smart buyers. All right, and we go from pivot to pivot. It pulled back 50%. All right, so a beautiful pullback yesterday, which is why we started fading it off stream. Yesterday, we were looking for these fades into here, and really I wanted to wake up today and take this move, but I'm too late. Clearly too late. London having a lot of fun and some of the pre-market traders in New York. So this was a very, very obvious move. Once we dipped down into here, we built and held liquidity, and we use that liquidity to go higher. That is fractal, because if I zoom out of that move and you look at this H1 here, you will see the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, exactly the same. Neckline, flag into it, break, and we're trying to complete the cup. So all the way up here. So the start of supply, I would say, starts at around 21,666. What a level. Into 700, then 800s, and then the very top of that. Let's zoom in and make sure we get that right. The very top of that around 900s. Okay, so stops up here into these lower levels, 650s. It really starts to get a bit thicker into 700. That's an old point of control. Then 800, 810, and then 900. That's where the market is trying to go. It's trying to effectively complete a giant cup. Once we get up there, we can think about a handle for next week. We are long in this market, all right? Momentum is upside. Location, terrible now. Unfortunately, if you're one of the traders, lots of you in the team got this morning before I was at the desk. If you're one of the traders that got this long, fantastic work, because this location down here is fantastic, and now you can be holding runners for this imminent squeeze going higher. But what I would say is when we look at this, it is really a bit of a relief rally on lots of the Mag 7, so you have to be cautious. But this is the aim today. It's trying to get into this old point of control around 700s. Once it gets through here, all right, either it comes back down and we get a test of this. So again, same thing every time, an RBS. Resistance becomes support and we hold this, or this is very thin. I'm very concerned about how thin this is. This move is very large happening pre-market, very much like the last few days. So if it wants to steal liquidity or even go higher and then fail and not hold this, this move down here can happen very, very fast, because this is one giant candle. All right, so we're watching these moves to see how high we go and if we can get a pullback. A pullback into here wouldn't be nice. A pullback into here would be amazing. If we keep pumping, I'll see if there's a way I can join for this move up, and I'm going to be very cautious here about something like this for later in the day. But normally, Fridays like to trend. Moving into the 5-minute, and you can see how we've just exploded out of the London high right here. So here was your downtrend. Here was condensing, all right, building liquidity along, and then London creates this nice flag, and there we go, off to the races. Now, apparently, this is off a tweet or something from Trump. I've not seen it, so if anyone's seen it, please post it in chat. Lots of people saying this is a squeeze off something Mr. Trump has said. And you'll see here the flow zones just offering buy signals. What did I say all the time? All the time, flow zones are above lower time frame algo. You have squeeze potential. So right here, taking out previous day high. Now we have to just wait and see what we get at the open. I'm going to scroll across here and look at the VIX. So the VIX yesterday drove up to highs of 1660, now back down into 1580s, lower edge of that demand. So it's starting to base out here, the VIX. If the VIX is going to trade sideways, that doesn't mean the market has to trade sideways. That means the market can be risk on if it wants. So watching the VIX closely, having a quick look at the treasuries here. Let's have a look on a higher time frame. Give me a second. So the 2-year trying to find a little bit of a bounce. It's still inside that range. Probably the same for the 5-year very similar. So the treasuries are starting to cool off, right? They've started to roll over the last, I'd say, week or so, but they are in a position of that last big pullback coming into just before the close of the year. So whether they find bids here or not will be key. Dixie as well, trying to find some bids. Same kind of thing, but Dixie a little bit stronger, looking to drive higher. So interesting to see what the market does there. Bitcoin very, very strong, right? Reclaiming 100,000, almost at 103 now, looking super strong on this session. Quick look over at the mag then. Apple trying to find a bid, right? Anyone who was watching Apple yesterday, it was dragging the market down. It got absolutely destroyed yesterday. I'm not super bullish on Apple right now, okay? They are struggling with sales in China. Apparently 17% down on their iPhone sales currently this year, so heavy in this market. So potential that this is a bit of a relief before selling comes back into Apple. I struggle to see Apple getting anywhere near to yesterday's open, much weaker in the Mag 7. Microsoft, though, looking very strong. All right, bullish breakout here on Microsoft. Amazon, you know, I've been saying has relative strength. It continues to pump upside, taking out yesterday's open and highs. Google doing the same thing. Meta doing the same thing. Nvidia a little bit like Apple right now. All right, they're struggling to find bids, but starting to build potentially a higher low here on a 4-hour. And Tesla the same. All right, back inside of yesterday's range. So Nvidia and Tesla inside previous day's range. I'd say Meta, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, the strong ones out of the mag. And then Apple really is just a little bit of a bounce to probably come back in and fade at some point, unless they really trap shorts in this market. So that's what I'm looking at today. Can I be buying this right now? I can't. I cannot justify buying this when my buy entry signal was all the way down here. All right, this is a huge move away from it, and this is pretty much straight up. I need a good pullback and trap kind of play for me to buy. Otherwise, I think this market just drifts higher. Let's just mark in some supply, make sure I've got it all marked out properly. So I'd say that was the highs. I'd say we can probably do one at the edge of this low in case we get an SBR, right? We might get support becomes resistance here. This is the edge of where buyers were involved, all right? Buyers. If they become sellers, we're sell in here. But more likely we drive up into these supply blocks as long as strength remains in the market. But I definitely will not be chasing the market up here. It's one thing I cannot do today. All right. If I've missed this play, if there's no play for me on this Friday, that's absolutely fine. We're going to play our rules and nothing else. We can't be chasing market into areas of supply. I've just deleted that, haven't I? Let's pull you back in. Looks pretty good. Get rid of you. All right. So we're pretty much there, team. We are in a bullish market. We have bullish momentum, but the location right now is absolutely terrible on multiple time frames. All right, so I still think the draw for liquidity can be higher. These pumps are pretty big here. Look at the speed in which it wants to move. So only about 90 seconds out from the open. Be careful, okay, of a pump and a failure at the open. If you start chasing the market, don't be surprised if you get a move like this today. I'm not saying that has to happen, but if you are trying to chase the highs as a buy, it's very possible that you get completely slammed on in this open. So just let it shake out. I'm going to get through the mornings. Most of you did not get that morning pump in that poll. Morning, Exister. Jay, can up one. Jeff, Chris, Peter, good morning. Marek, Idris, thank you so much. Idris becoming a Flow Zone Pro member. Thank you so much there, my friend. Good morning, Ramus, Array, Vandyman, Greg, Idris, Miguel, Thumper, Vinny, Capt, Kathy, Minix, Andrew, TR. What are my views on Bank Holiday Monday and today? Well, I won't be trading Martin Luther King Day, and we just play it next week. We just see what's what next week. Good morning, BU, and good morning, Gabriel. All right, so into the open in about 15-20 seconds, and let's just see what we get. Lots of you have just joined the stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're not already a member, you can hit the subscribe button. And if, like Idris, you want to join the team, there is a membership tab that you can join as well. So let's see what we get here at the open. Here we go. Remember, we are opening very, very high on the market. Very high on the market today. So just be a little cautious. This could do with a big, juicy pullback here. All right, a huge pump into supply, into this first red zone. Right, how we act at previous day high will be key. If we start letting go of previous day high, there's not a whole lot of structure. It can drift much, much lower very, very quickly if it wants to. So just be aware of that. I'm okay just letting it shake out for a moment. Having a look on the book. Book looking pretty thin here. So deeper better, in my opinion. The deeper this market can come, the better. Towards that previous day high, maybe even way under would be nice. I'm also, got the wrong chart up there. Also watching these ETF VWAPs. You can, of course, do an anchored VWAP off the start of that pump as well. A pull back into VWAP and a hold there would be nice, somewhere around there. I'd possibly be interested in participating as a buyer if it shows me a bullish signal. All right, if it shows me a bullish signal. So far, those buyers who chased the highs, most definitely trapped. We're just going to let this drift down, maybe come and test this old high, which we're coming into now, and see if some bids want to show up. If they don't want to show up, we can keep drifting way lower. Like we said, this is very thin for this move up. Look at the hourly chart. It's got a long way to go down if it wants to reprice that old hourly bar. We're coming into some places of interest here. The lower the better, really, if we want to participate as buyers. If this was a pump to dump, it can do it. Like we said, Mag 7 was very, very heavy yesterday. That rotation up can just be a bit of relief. If they want to come back in and start selling it all, they can do so. There's absolutely nothing to stop them doing that. So watching this area very closely that we're at right now. This is the bounce of previous day high. I'm just watching to see, do they put in any sort of bullish pattern down here? Trading into those 2-minute flow zones. I'd still like a little bit lower if I'm honest, but I'm going to watch this carefully here. Don't want to buy high today. So one thing I don't want to do, I want the market to pull back significantly if possible. Morning, Gabriel. Morning, Eva. Morning, Christy. Long way to go if it's going to really pull back deeply. Testing previous day high here on the Qs. Not there yet on the ES or the SPY, but we are there on the Qs. Watching liquidity to see if any buyers come on the tape with any size. Not much with any size. Unsurprising, they probably are all so far up in the money off that earlier pump. All right, so here's your pullback to previous day high. I really want a slam down much lower. Not that I'm looking to fade this, but I would like to see it trade much lower first. Just measuring out on this hourly where it might go into the low 500s would be ideal. And then see if they create some bid action down there. If not, maybe we fade to VWAP. And if they keep fading, maybe we fade all the way back to yesterday's point of control, which would be 400. So we are thin. Remember, these moves, these ATR moves are massive, absolutely massive. I've been saying it every day for about 2 weeks. Good morning, Sloth. No reason to buy this right now. Straight pump up, stole some liquidity. If you want to be a buyer in this, let it put in a bullish pattern for you at a key level. At the moment, we're not there. ES almost at previous day high. All right, ES trying to come down a little bit here. How it acts on previous day high will be key. If it starts fading under that, then the edge of support on that is at the 13s, and then you've got VWAP just underneath at 11s. Some issues here. There we go. Using your system, how would you've got an entry in the London session? Is it using an RBS in gap time? In the London session, you could have very, very simply bought this squeeze here. If you went to a higher time frame, you would have seen that we wanted to rally higher. And you have previous day close, and you have this here. So push, pull back, hold. There's your trap, inverted head and shoulders here, and the flow zone signaled buy. So that's, I would have been a buyer around these 350s, 360s, most likely. Lots of the guys in Discord did get it. I think Coop got it. Jeff got it. A couple others. If you're on stream, make yourself known. A couple of those guys got it. All right, so back into PDH here. ES tapped PDH. It did tap the previous day high there on the ES. All right, trading into, on a 1 minute, you've got your deep pullback flow zones trading around 525. I can move this to a 1 minute if you prefer. All right, they're trading just around here. And see how we're trying to hold them, and we're trying to hold previous day high. Now, do sellers come in for a new leg? So John Dennis, good morning, Flow Zone family, said that's exactly what he did for London, already up 1,100. So there you go. So the guys that have done the course and are in the room, they know how to trade the system. If you just stick to the rules, it will pay out more times than not. ES finding bids there right off previous day high. Found a bid exactly off previous day high on the ES. VIX found bids this morning. I want to see if this will just trade back inside on this 5 minute bar, which it's trying to right now. I'd love one more leg down here. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I'd love one more leg down here. Jeff, also in the room, got 2 wins on the way up. All right. So these are guys who have done the course, are in the room. They didn't need me to call it. They know exactly what they're looking for. We took that fade yesterday. Well, at least some of the guys in the room did. I was unable to get it. I was out, but we were calling about that move back to point of control and fade to take out the H1 bids lower, which it did, into close. A really nice move into close. Once we hit that higher time frame demand, we were going upside. That was a huge breakout retest moment yesterday. Good morning, Aid. It's starting to build some liquidity sideways. I'd love, honestly, I would love some kind of deep move before we do this move up. It would be really, really nice if the market would do that. I want to be very, very careful buying high today, like I keep saying. Do not want to get stuck buying high. Some form of deep move down would be great. Problem is on that last H1 bar that we put into this open this morning is very, very thin. If we start letting go of 42s, which is the top of that H1, and we can fill that whole thing back down. So like I said, have to be careful if this morning was a pump to dump on that Mag 7. Right? If it's a big relief rally just to come lower, have to be cautious. But I'm thinking now about potential buying signals. Watching carefully. So this is a move that we wanted. We want this to come lower. The lower the better today for us to get involved, really. The lower the better. I'm just looking at like the M5 around 500. Looking at this kind of mark here. Does it find some kind of bullish pattern there? If it comes lower, we've got VWAP below. ES still holding previous day high. Relative strength there on the ES, maybe because of the banks. Good morning, Aids. Morning, everyone. So the one rule today this morning was don't buy high, wasn't it? We tapped into that supply. Last thing you want to do is get caught buying high. I said it at the beginning, and I've said it in Discord. One thing I'm not going to be doing is buying highs when we've just pumped 250 odd points. There's absolutely no way you will catch me doing that. Easiest way to get wrecked. Easiest way to get wrecked would be to buy that high. And there might be some jostling for positions today as well, because obviously you've got Trump coming in next week as well. So it's a bit of an odd week next week, having the bank holiday and then Trump coming in. ES still tapping into previous day high, not let go of it yet. If it does, then maybe a trade into 613 and VWAP there. And then I want to see if and how we react there. Looking for some buys on the tape. There's not really much there. There's 100 lot at 350. That would be the retest. All right, right back down here. Right, if we think about this, can be an RBS, right? And I know it sounds mad. Breakout, a retest would be all the way back here for a trade back upside. Okay, so I am very, very aware of that. Might have to move this onto a 2-minute, guys, just so you can see it all cleanly for now. Running out of space because the move is so big. And once we calm down a bit, we can move back to an M1. Yeah, watching this area into 500s. Thinking about a fib of this move. Something like this. Watching also previous day open, somewhere around there as well. Sorry, previous day close. That would be even deeper into 400. So it is thin. There isn't much structure from this move off, from the move upside. Think about this. Not a whole lot of structure to play off. A little bit here, but it's not like we consolidated here again and accumulated before the move. So need to be careful here. I want to just be buying dips blindly. You need some structure here. We need a bullish pattern to be thinking bullish. ES with a nice hold here of previous day high. ES looking very, very strong holding that right now and holding its structure. NQ's not as strong as they start to drift down. Can we get some form of bullish pattern setting up at some point? That's what we'd love. Some form of bullish pattern to set up at some point. I'm watching ES here in case it's an indication that it wants to go higher. VIX trading downside. Might start to find some bids coming into the market here soon. Vanderman, how do I use VWAP in Top Step X? Anchor it to a 6 p.m. candle yesterday. 6 p.m. I mean, I don't really use it in Top Step X. You could have done an anchor from the highs or from the lows. You can do an anchor from the 930. You could do an anchor from the CPI print. There was nothing yesterday, I think, specifically to need to anchor it off. So some bids here. So how we act at previous day high here will start to be key. So I'm just going to put this to a 1 minute so you can see a bit more. So far, all right, we have broken out of this structure and we're making lower lows and lower highs. The moment that changes, I'll think about the trade back upside. If it doesn't change, then maybe we fade all the way back down. In which case, I'm probably going to kick myself for not taking this short here versus this for this roll. But I wanted to try and be bullish biased when it's ready today, but let's see. Let's see, team. Went short at the open, yeah, good move. I mean, it made sense, didn't it? Definitely wasn't a long at the open, so I like that, Crawford. I don't dislike that at all. Plenty of sellers still showing up for now. Liquidity lower, but there's no big size here. I feel like it's going to be hard to get a good trade today. I feel like everyone's had a lot of fun in this session before the market open already. The ES now starting to let go of that previous day high. Will it trade down to VWAP? Do the Qs trade down to VWAP? Are you trying to find an accurate VWAP for today? Then just anchor it to a 9:30 open and an 8:30 open, or just use another screen. I mean, it's unbelievable that they are getting away with using moving averages and VWAP still not working. So ES there tagging into VWAP, all right? It came straight into the VWAP, as did the SPY. Qs are beneath the VWAP, NQ is not, but the Qs, the ETF is beneath the VWAP right now. So first tag into VWAP here. On ES I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about on the relative strength on ES. Watching to see if we start to pivot back over this for this run back up. That's what I'm watching right now. I'm starting to add very, very small size here, just in case I'm in early and it starts to go. Stop already in the money, but just in case, I just have that feeling with ES with relative strength. Beautiful move. I want to see this really just aggressively pop through 50s. That's when I'm going to know, okay, we might be ready to go. This is just from many years on the charts here. Watching the ES looking fantastic. I know it's counter trend technically from the flow zones, but I'm basically in early looking for flow zones to flip and do this move here. Just with small size, all right? Just very, very small size here. I'm protecting myself. If it trades back in, I'll take it off. Can always re-add back in. I know it's early, but I'm looking for a good price for this kind of rotation. And moving my stop into around here right now. If it doesn't hold, that's fine. I'll just take it off. Got to be very careful into previous day high here. If it rejects here, it's problematic. We need to get over this for this trade back up. But ES looking very, very good here. I'm actually just going to trim some of my position here. These moves are pretty big, and I don't want to give too much back. It happens so quickly. Current ATR on the session is 40 points per 1 minute candle. We are technically, on this current time frame in front of us, we are technically still bearish. But once we take this out, we're bullish, and then we're looking for this move. All right, so I was entering here. I know it's early. Don't tell me off. It's just from experience watching across. Watching ES hold the VWAP was a bit of a clue there. I've trimmed most of my position off. Happy to re-add into this if it confirms. If it stays heavy versus previous day high, I'm not interested. I'll take all this position off in the low 20s, which will basically be my break even for the runners, but I locked a lot in there. So it needs to hold this pullback. And if it doesn't, I'll be off. It has a chance of rotating lower. Like I said, I'm aggressive with my stop because I know I'm very, very early on this. It might not play out. I know you're all going to say you're playing against your system, but I'm not really when I go on any time frame that's high. If I go to a 5 minute on here, I'm still really playing my system. All right. It's just the M1 which is flipped, but I still think, all right, if we hold this where buyers came in, we have the chance to do this move. Then previous day high is key. If we can hold previous day high, we can trade upside. If we fail previous day high, maybe we just have an inside bar. Almost taking the rest of me out here. Some news from Putin hitting the wire about oil supply to Iran. So just be careful. I said, you never know what news is going to hit the wire. It's why you've got to trade with hard stops. I hate these guys that are here in interviews saying don't trade with hard stops. What are you going to do when the market does an unexpected move when you don't have a hard stop? You will lose everything. You've got to trade with hard stops. Even if it's a hard stop for your absolute max pain. TR, I use Financial Juice and it prints into the room on a news feed, and then that news feed flashes up in the bottom right of my right monitor. Forgive me, TR, I can't remember if you're in the room or not. If not, there's a news feed in that room. You'll see it on a tab, and you can just have that set to, I have it set so it prints on my desktop down here. So it's trying to hold. It's really, really trying to hold here. I've been knocked out on this, by the way. Sorry, I should have said I've been knocked out. If this holds, I will rejoin for this move. If it fails, then I'm going to assume we're going to roll deeper. So I should have said, sorry, 20s. I think I did say my stop was 20s. It did just knock me out on a runner there. Yeah, so if you're not in the room, TR, you can just use Financial Juice. It's a good little news feed. So you can either, depending how you do it, you can follow it on Twitter. If you've got your own Discord, you can have a bot pull their tweets into your Discord, or you can just have it up as a browser on your web. Looking good here for a hold. Maybe that stop was a little too tight from me. Looking very good here. ES testing its high of day. So far, everything above, let's call it 26, 27, has been a wick on the ES. If it wants to get going, I want to see it pump through that. VIX getting absolutely crushed, right? We were talking about that yesterday. VIX crushed Fridays. It's happening so far. So trading back towards previous day low. QQQ is right at its VWAP. All right, QQQ, the ETF, is right at its VWAP. So we have to see what happens here. Really, we need a breakout on the ES, clear out all these wicks above, and a retest and a hold for us to print higher prices. Structurally, we're not technically bullish. All right, structurally, we're not there yet. Structurally, we're still technically doing this. All right, so it's still very early for longs. Like I said, it was early for me. I just had a feeling we want to try and do this. If it fails, then we have VWAP, and then we have to be very careful, because if that fails, the rotation can be very quick, because this is straight up and this is a pullback. So I'm looking for the next move up, but if this fails, maybe we do 1, 2, and then back up. Remember, it's a massive gap up today. If you're watching the ETFs, this is a massive gap up. Previous day close is down here. Is that right? Let's make sure I've got that right. 91s, yeah. This is previous day close, and this is previous day open. So to close the gap, we have to come back down to here, and this would be your RBS level. Resistance, 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 breakout, support if it comes back there. So just have to be careful. Like I said, not in a position now. Had a little go at this. Structurally wasn't there yet, but just have a sneaking suspicion this wants to try and retest the highs. ES unable to do it. It's trying to build out that M5 flag, unable to do it yet. Everything on the M5 and above is holding bullish structure. All right, everything on an M5 and above is holding bullish structure in terms of flow zones. The question here is, do they have the oomph to do this move and above this and this? This is what I was looking for. Looks like it might try and have a little go at it now. There we go. So missed this, unfortunately. Well, I've got some runners, but missed this main move. If you're taking this flag and you're in it, congratulations. Make sure you're paying yourself some money into this block here and previous day high. And let's mark out 930 as well before we forget. Where's that 930 print? Is it this candle here? Looking good. So there's your trade into previous day high. Make sure you're paying yourself. Any of you that took this, any of you who are better than me with your stop placement, make sure you're paying yourself into PDH. Like I said, if it rejects that, we can trade back inside yesterday's range. You have to be careful. Now, even that move that I got there, if I managed to hold it, doesn't look like much, but that's 50 points. I only got from here to here and then runners out here. Probably a bit tight. Probably should have been adding in this for this move, but nothing was confirmed for me. So daily traders coming in versus previous day high. This is the problem. Sellers trying to hold previous day high for a rotation now. So you got multiple time frames fighting against each other right now. The hardest thing today is going to be where the draw in liquidity is, because we've absolutely smacked everything above. Remember, if we go to a higher time frame on the hourly chart, we slammed everything above. All these guys got taken out. We talked about this earlier in the week. And really, it might be that the market really wants to dump lower. Well, I don't mean dump lower as in break structure, but it might want to come and retest some of these areas now. Have to be careful. So they're trying to build out a continuation flag here now for a lower drive. So if you're going to take this short, you need to be thinking about cover points for runners. Make sure your size is small today. ATR still big, right? Averaging 40 points since the open per 1 minute candle right now. I'm not taking this short. Even though this is technically a first bounce short, I don't like it. Momentum says to me we're upside today. Right? I really don't want to take this short, even though I think we can come lower, even though everything in front of me is saying it's rejecting previous day high. Something in me is saying I don't want to take it. Nice, Dean. Good work. Yeah, ES looks very, very good. ES is looking strong. Relative strength in ES, right? It's holding its VWAP. It's holding previous day high. It's holding its 5-minute flow zones. It's trying to create that sort of micro cup and handle, the micro kind of inverse head and shoulders. All it needs to do is have a good breakout, pullback, retest, and it's off to the races. So range already 161 points. We're not even half an hour into the day. Doesn't look like we're 161 points, but we are. This range from the open to here is 161 points. You have to be careful. Here goes ES again, trying for that 26, 27 kind of push. Just going to let this build out. Let it become obvious. Had a crack at it already. Once I've had one crack, I need to be hands off. It was early, like I said on stream. It was an early go. It was based on watching the ES more than anything else. But if they're going to trap buyers here and want to do a second leg down, I don't want to be trying to absorb it. Right, if they get stuck here, remember red line, previous day high, flow zones are trying to flip down. If they get stuck here and these buyers get forced out, you get a nice move down. Maybe at that point, smart money accumulates and runs it back up. But otherwise, above here, I'm interested. I know it's joining later, but above previous day high, if we can show me some structure, I'm interested. Have to be careful of this move into 30s. So just going to wait right now, personally. Maybe some of you are still in this long. I don't know. Maybe some of you are in this short looking for the right rotation. I'm not convinced. I would have loved to have been waking up this morning to a market down around the 250s, 350s. Right, that was the plan today. We talked about in Discord last night. Once we missed, or at least I missed that slam off the point of control yesterday, which became obvious. I know Foster Scott got it and a few others got it for that fade all the way back down. Once it came into that higher time frame demand, I wanted to be accumulating longs. Right, this move here, once we came down here, I said it to the team. Yesterday, we were ideally looking for a move deeper so we could buy it back up. There's the move deeper. I wanted to wake up this morning here and be like, yep, let's buy this back up. But unfortunately, I'm waking up here. Horrible, horrible location to be waking up to. Trying to build out this bear flag here on the Qs. QQQ rejecting its VWAP. All right, QQQ under its VWAP. Not at previous day high yet on the QQQ, just on the ETF. I'm watching that closely. So the ETF PDH will be moving to 519. It really doesn't have much structure pre-market until 5:16 on the ETF. So there's your bear flag. So they're trying to break down. So flow zones were correct. Failure under previous day high. That was probably a bit of a tell. And now a move lower. Question is, how low do they go now? Do they trap shorts chasing this back down? Or do we need to come right the way back and test this structure all the way back down here? VWAP here, lower time frame here. This is an anchor. I can get rid of that old anchor. Remember, this is a gap fill. This white line would be a gap fill. Previous day close. So if this was a pump to dump on the mag, I'd be watching that carefully. ES still holding previous day high. The relative strength in ES is absolutely amazing off the banking sector. So a sweep there. I really want to see this trade lower. We got under 500. It might as well just give a nasty move down now is what I would like to see before a return back upside. If it does it straight away, it's going to be frustrating. What I'm looking for is a bigger breakdown and a volume exchange before a turn up. I really don't want it to just be a simple sweep like that. That is going to be frustrating. It's because ES continues to hold previous day highs. So ES is building structure up here. Very, very different. Feels like it's just going to aggressively go now, doesn't it, on the Qs? It's so frustrating. Might have to join in. If it can show me it wants to squeeze higher, I'll think about joining in. Finding resistance up there for now into the flow zones. Watching ES to see if it can get going here. Range is huge, okay? Range is absolutely massive. Don't forget that. Still underneath previous day high. Still in bearish structure. But if we're going to start to build above this, I'll think about that rotation. Back to flow zones again here. ES is trying to have a go here. Looking for sellers on the tape higher. So there are 100 lot now. Come on. 141 lot at 750 and another 100 lot just above. So that would be very, very nice if we can get going up towards there. Watching carefully, like it feels like it's going to go. It doesn't feel like it's come deep enough for me for the trap, but it feels like it's just going to go. I would normally like these traps underneath these to be like down here and very clear. This just sweeping like that, it doesn't give me confidence enough are trapped, but it very, very much feels like they are. The way it's moving feels like they are trapped. So this feels like the pullback to go higher here. Which is why I really wasn't looking for shorts this morning. I was looking for longs on pullbacks. Because the short is technically counter trend, right? There's the trend. This is your counter trend. This is what we expect. Continuation. The question is it going to do a two leg, which would be nice. Gives us better risk reward if it does a two leg. Yeah, range definitely tightening. Someone just said it in chat. Around previous week open. I haven't got my weekly chart up. Let me have a quick look. We are indeed. It's a good read. Previous week open, the week before that closed, the week before that low. Everything very, very tight here. It's a great read. Didn't even see that. Good read, Thumper. So super high time frame levels there. Weekly traders. Mag 7 all green, by the way. Let's do a review while this market slows down. Tesla 3.3% up, holding its gains well at highs of day. Nvidia doing the same, 2.65% up, holding its gains. Meta 1% up, not holding its gains, right? Dumped at the open. Google the same, 0.7% up, dumped at the open. Amazon pulling back at the open, but trying to find some bids, but it is underneath VWAP. Microsoft push and dump at the open, very much like the market. And Apple did the same, dump to the open, but it is finding some bids here. So I'd say on Apple, it needs to get through 231.20s. A run through that can open the door for high of day, and then a run through that opens the door for probably a squeeze into between 32 and 35. All right, that would probably be a fib retracement kind of level on the Apple, if anyone is playing that. ES continues to look strong here. Built out, very nice flag at high of day here on ES. It definitely feels like it's going to just get going. I'm looking to see if this is really going to be the start of it. I'm adding into this very, very small in case this is the start of it. I am in small here, but this is the move I want. I want a rip through previous day high here. And I need ES to get going. All right, so starting to hold above these flow zones, adding very, very small here. Need it to get through previous day high, and then I can think about something else. Have to be cautious here versus previous day high. Weird price action. I don't know if it's weird. It's just going to take time to build to get back up. We had a big move. It's just a pullback. Really, I would have preferred more shorts trapped in. Remember, to move higher, we need shorts trapped in. Their stops are here. This can be the stop run for up. There we go. Beautiful. So taking some partials into this. If we start to confirm here, I'll start to add some more size for a run back to the high of day, which is all the way up at 684. So we've got another 100 points into that. Starting to look good. I want to see ES take out high of day as well. And I want to be very careful. If ES takes out high of day and then dies straight back inside the range, I'm probably going to be risk off on the Qs. Like I said, we do have some sellers there way, way higher. 750 and just in front of 800. Where would that take us? Let's have a look. 750, so into this range and here. So basically into this supply block that I had marked out. That's where they're looking to sell. Need to be cautious here in terms of a fib. There's that 50% move of the current range. I need to be cautious. I'm just scalping this out so far this morning until it becomes really, really clean. Like I was saying, a two-leg pullback would be my preferred move here. A two-leg pullback would have been my preferred move. Why? Because then I can use this liquidity much, much easier. So think about what a two-leg pullback looks like. If we have this huge leg and then we go a two-leg and then we start to bid back up here, these short sellers get stuck and this is your inverted head and shoulder, break and go. But so far, we're just in a squeeze. So just continue to hold into these runners. Make sure, remember, this is 50%. You have a little imbalance up here. I'm watching the ES to see if it can break old highs. If we keep maintaining this, these will flip into a bullish signal soon if we keep maintaining. But remember, everything above is probably still bullish. 2 minutes bullish, that means 3 minute and 4 minute and 5 minute are all still bullish, all right? So that's why I was more willing to participate as a buyer, because I knew that this was your counter trend leg. It was just a pullback. And in theory, we should go higher today, in theory, even though there's starting to lack liquidity to go higher for. But in theory, just based on legs, we should have the ability to go higher today. Is that chocolate? That's good. We just tried a new coffee bean. Sorry, so wife just bought me a chocolate coffee. Or it's a bean that's got chocolate in it or something. All right, so pulling back, here's the retest of that key level that we just broke from. So a dive underneath 50, I will be out. If we dive underneath 50, if we don't hold the flow zones, I'll be out of this. If we can hold it, I can maintain. It's crazy, but like I said, ATR is 30 to 40 points per M1 candle. So these pullbacks can be pretty violent. Important to lock some in. So I locked some in that move up to previous day high. Stopping me out there. Happy to re-add into this if it starts to firm up. Like I said, just scalping this out until it proves itself as ready. Not going to hold on to these trades too long. If it starts to prove itself, then I can get more involved. But like I said, I would have preferred a two-leg pullback. This is a very short sweep to do this move, but it's possible it holds here, builds out liquidity, and just grinds back up. It's not my preferred action, but I don't get to choose what the market does each day. I have to play whatever is in front of me. If it starts to fail and comes for these, then I think we get the second leg down, which will be nice. So far, that daily level has been key. That red line, that previous day high, daily traders selling into that level. Again, we have to be we have to be careful when we're looking at where we are on the higher time frame. Remember, from leg to leg, the reason I'm being so cautious is we are still buying in a golden zone here. We don't really want to be buying in the golden zone. We want to be buying down here. These opportunities it gave this morning, last night, these were buying opportunities for this move. Weekly model, Monday, Tuesday, print higher, pull back, print higher. It was very, very obvious what the market wanted to do this week. Also into this daily downtrend. I don't really pay too much attention to these downtrends, but we are into it. We are sort of holding this now. So this is what it's trying to do. It's trying to do this. Failure of here, I'd be risk off, because then we're just going to be in this little range that we've been in all morning. Why have we gone into a range? Can anyone answer me? Why have we gone into a range? Just like yesterday, we went into a range for a bit. Why do we go into ranges? Who knows why we tighten up ranges in price action? Exactly, TR. We need to build volume. And more than that, we need to trap participants in the market to build liquidity. Exactly. Aid knows it. Miguel knows it. We have to build liquidity. If there are not enough shorts trapped down here, then they are not enough stops here. To go higher, we need lots of shorts with their stops here. And then when we do it, they go cover, 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 cover. And that panic cover is what takes us up. Right, so we have to build liquidity. That's exactly why we've gone into the range. Ranges act like magnets. Yeah, they do act like magnets. That's because they're building out the liquidity. That would be a phrase you've learnt from, I forget his name. Is it James? James someone? School of Trade or whatever it is. He loves saying that. Yeah, all of you that know, building out liquidity, that's key. Yesterday, we were very, very patient yesterday, but actually, yesterday offered some amazing trades on stream. I think we were 3 for 3 on stream. Where was yesterday? We were 3 for 3 on stream. So we were these 3 trades on stream. I've left them in. So we were short here. We were long here. Well, you guys were long. I didn't take it, and I was short here. And then lots of guys took the IB rotation here back to VWAP. And then once this started to fail, there's your melt back down and a puke out. And then after this, what are you looking for? This is your failed auction. Reclaims back to VWAP. And this is where sellers came back in versus the same level earlier. And now we had liquidity to aim for lower. And then we went and searched for the H1 liquidity. Remember these white lines? They were in here yesterday. TP1, TP2, and this is the higher time frame demand. We came all the way down into it, and then everyone started covering, buyers started participating, and shorts, which didn't understand the location, got trapped. They probably started entering short looking for a gap down, and they didn't get it, and eventually they got wrecked. All right, so that's where we are now. Shorts have already been blown out, so we need more shorts in the market to move higher because they've already been blown out in this session. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Let's do that again. Sorry, team. Get to yesterday's price action. So those were here yesterday will know we were short this, long this, short this, and then lots of guys after the stream, not me, took this long back to view up, and then you had this move, rejection of view up, short back down, failed IB, short back down into a higher time frame, failed auction, reclaim initial balance, long back to view up, and then this is where supply was earlier. Look left, failure here, failure IB, run into these white lines, which we had printed all day. Those are the H1 levels of liquidity, where all the max pain stop was. Take them all out. High time frame demand. Shorts all enter here overnight, hoping that we get a gap down, and they get a gap up, and then they get blown out, right? They get absolutely blown out. That's why we are where we are now. Those shorts got blown out. So now we need to build liquidity for the next move. So yesterday was a very, very nice day in the end. Very, very nice day. You just had to be patient for it and stick around. But we were 3 for 3 on stream. Foster Scott and a few others took the last trade, the fourth trade, which was a rotation back up. And then any of you who are in Discord will know we were looking for that rotation back to view up, and then that rejection of point of control and the flush back down. Some of them absolutely killed it. Like, what did Foster Scott do? He took it on ES yesterday. What was he up into close? Off that move, it was a big move. Up a considerable amount, I think. Oh, Aid, I've just seen that you posted in the P&L. So you took that London move to the upside. I absolutely love it, buddy. Great work. So lots of the students absolutely killing it this morning. They don't even need me there. This is the great thing. They've learnt the system now. The guys that turn up day in, day out, they've learnt the system and they know what we're looking for. So unfortunately, waking up on the West Coast in Los Angeles has its disadvantages, and those disadvantages are I am not up at this time in the morning, all right? At 8, that means 7, 6, 5 a.m. I mean, I am up, but I'm not active enough on the screens, clearly. Really, I'm coming to the screens around here. And I was a bit late today. I was thinking we probably wouldn't do much on a Friday, and that I could probably wake up and just buy us off demand. Little did I know that all the London traders were going to make all the money without me today. But it's all right. We're up good. We're up 4 figures. We're all good. Not every day is the same. Still building out liquidity here. All right. Still trying to hold that previous day high is key. Still trying to hold versus this. This is what it's trying to do right now. It wants to do this. Failure to do that, failure to break out will mean too many buyers are trapped in here. And if we liquidate those, we go lower. So you have to be aggressive with your stops today. You're still buying high, remember. But it wants to search higher. It really does. It wants to search higher. Aid, I took it out too early and then went back in after posting that. I'm currently now $3,235 up times 5. So he's got 5 accounts linked, all up $3,235. That is absolutely awesome work, Aid. Great work. Flip the anchored view up from the swing high. So you put an anchor on from this morning's move. Is that what you're saying? I bet we haven't flipped the anchored view up from the swing low. I bet we're holding everything right now. We could even do it from the breakout on that hourly candle. Yeah, so converging the same area. So average price right now of buyers and sellers is about the same, which is why we're chopping. We're building that liquidity. You can tell I had an attempt. I think I've had 2 attempts at this now. We had that early attempt here, and I had this attempt here, and I'm just hands off right now. Not going to force myself into this. It's either going to set up or it isn't. Currently squeezing shorts from the open. I mean, if we can start reclaiming, but I mean, remember your open print's there, so probably average price of that short is around here. You've got a bit of an imbalance here from that move down. So this is what we're doing right now. Can we start doing this? Do I prefer it long side? Yes. Is this a great location? No. But where we are in a location is here. All right, so you could argue breakout, retest, hold of this. If we hold this, we can do this, or you might call it a cut and handle, something like that. Off point of control, building out lots of volume here. I'm bullish for upside. I would love lower prices, obviously. I'm a cheapskate. I say it every day. I always love lower prices to buy into. The lower the price, the better, because it's more likely shorts get frustrated and they chase and chase and chase down low. But that previous day high is definitely key. Absolutely key right now on the market. VIX just traded underneath previous day low for the first time, and then is trying to have an attempt at reclaiming it here. So if VIX is going to get really heavy and fade previous day low for an extension lower, then the market can trade back upside. If the VIX is just going to reclaim its range, then maybe we chop out even longer. At some point, a nice trade will set up here. At some point, it will come. We're just going to have to be very, very patient. I'm definitely not going to force my way into a market on a Friday. I've made good money on those 2 attempts. Definitely the first one paid out really well. I'm not going to force my way into this market. Had a nice week. We've had a great week on stream. Green across the board. Market opened up 350 points higher than the point at which I wanted to buy. So unless this gives me very nice signals or cheap trades, I'm not forcing my way into the top of this range. Absolutely no chance. So liquidity on the book at 500 here, still small lots. I'm looking to see if we get a big buyer lower, and they're just not showing up right now. That looks like a clear failure there into previous day high. Could not get higher. Now liquidating these buyers in here who are attempting to get this move. Remember, this is where I stopped out. So we took this, stopped out. Failure, previous day high again. So lots of liquidity being built here, and I'd say here and here. We just liquidated this lot. If it goes down, liquidates this lot. Got view up there, and we can trade lower. Remember, we can trade much lower. Make sure you're zooming out. I've got you zoomed in here, so don't really have a choice for you to see the price action, but there's a long way from this pivot high. This can come way deeper. This area here is traditionally where it likes to build out flags into the 30. This would be a cheaper buy opportunity. This would be a brilliant buy opportunity to send it back up to here if it offers it. So selling into view up now. So failure to get above the previous day high. Like I said, I was going to rejoin if we could do this, which we can't do. Selling back down. There's view up, lower time frame algo. You have lots of room to go lower. If we break this hourly low, we break this previous hourly low, we can rebalance that huge H1 candle. Remember, look at the H1 candle, that move. You're on it already. If we break this low, we can reprice this. You need to be very careful. This is very thin. This was a straight pump up this morning. If we sweep the hourly low and trade inside, that's possible a trap. But like I said, a 2-leg pullback would be the most ideal thing here. Bounce off view up. Not looking for longs here right now. There's a range long, but now we've got 3 lows down there. It's just asking for problems. Love this to just liquidate all these buyers now, send it lower, and then trap. Meta now almost 1% down. So some of these mag starting to roll over. Right, so things like Apple, where are you? Yeah, so Apple was a drive up to sell back into. Question is, can it hold a base? Same with Microsoft. Amazon starting to let go a little bit, but still above its 20-day. They all look rather the same. Meta looks terrible. Nvidia looks pretty good, and Tesla look pretty good, but they all look kind of similar there. QQQ, the ETFs holding previous. Is that previous day high or is that 50? What are you? Yeah, holding previous day high on the QQQ, so on the ETFs. Getting a bid off previous day high right now. Still would love to see this go lower first now. Now that we're in this range, I'd love to see it go lower first. Come and take these guys out clearly, and then we can think about that. Notice how the flow zones are all going sideways now. VWAP's still pointing upside just about, but these are all condensed. That's a no trade kind of thing for me. Bias right now is a lower move first because of these lows. I think we liquidate these guys. So I flipped from here thinking, okay, well, if we're going to go without me, I'm going to join, to now I'm like, well, we failed to get above. So I need to respect this and think that we might do something like that. Not married to an idea. Like I said, I would much rather be buying lower today. It looked like for a minute it wasn't going to come lower, so I tried to join to participate in momentum. Once that failed, I'm hands off, and now I'm thinking, okay, now I think it will go lower. So you have to just be willing to move around with the chart. The candlesticks are telling you what it wants to do. If you get fixed into a bias, if I'm still trying to buy this right now, imagine I bought, where did I buy it? Imagine I bought this, and then I added here, and then I anticipated and added here, and now I'm adding here, and now I'm adding here. How much size have I got here about to be liquidated? That would be a huge loss, because these moves are much bigger than you think. And you'll get slipped 5, 6, 7 points plus easy in this market. Easy in this market. So you have to watch your sizing. You have to be accurate. ES back to previous day high. QQQ back to previous day high. SPY back to previous day high. NQ under previous day high. It's the only one under. Everything else is trying to hold previous day high as support for now. But I still expect a liquidation of all these buyers now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I expect a run deeper than it's doing. It needs to just give a big flush moment. Get them all out the market. Encourage some shorts to chase here. And then we can look for something upside. Feels like it's coming now. Here's the liquidation. So they're trying to start running these guys out. Question is now, how low can we go? Watching the H1, it's going to be so tricky here. We have an old point of control from yesterday into around 400, right? That would be an area of interest. We have the 20-day just above that, and then I'm going to be thinking about traps. Nice, Adam. Yeah, so you just took that very simple flag right here, failure, add here, cover some here, hold for runners in case you start drifting lower. I think it's a good trade. I said, I'm not trying to play the counter trend short today. I'm just going to try and see if the market will give me a nice pullback to buy into. I'm not trying to play counter trend short. So I think after that huge sell-off yesterday, I was looking for a buy today. I want to be buying today at cheaper prices if possible. ES still holding its previous day high. SPY still holding previous day high. QQQ moved under by a couple ticks maybe. Previous day high 1906. We moved down into 1890. Found some bids. All right, holding VWAP now on the NQ. I would really like these liquidation events to be more than a couple points. These are very small. I want something aggressive. That's how I know shorts will get stuck in. But it's just unwilling to do it. It's because people are looking to buy this market right now because they know that this is a pullback leg. The deeper the pullback leg, the better, though. ES relative strength continues to be strong here. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard not to want to buy this and just slam back in, but I can't. Structure is not telling me to do that yet. I would prefer a trap lower, but if you look at the ETFs right now, they all held previous day high. They all held previous day high. So cash buyers holding short sellers in problems, all right? So if you swung overnight at the lows, say previous day close, you are being gapped up and previous day high is being held. That is max pain for a short seller right now. It's high squeeze possibilities. Right, so I'll show you what I mean if we go to the Qs rather than this. There's previous day high. Right, if you were a short seller yesterday, you are short in the hole here. We've gapped up. They are not closing this gap. You are not getting relief. You are getting stuck as a short seller, which is opening up the gate for that squeeze. It's why I want to be a buyer today in the market. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. I said every time we're fading, we're not fading hard. It's because these shorts are like, can I get out? Can I get out? Can I get some out? I don't want to lose too much. That's the market condition we're in. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, we're gapping up and we're holding gains. If we close the gap, those short sellers can get out break even or close to break even. Right now, the ETFs are unwilling to close the gap. Remember, most people are trading cash. They're trading options and cash on the ETFs. That's why I'm looking at those gaps on those. If you want to learn more about that, there is a video for free on my YouTube on cash gaps. Remember, all hedging will be done with options. That's done on the ETF market or on SPX or something like that. It is not often not done on futures. Futures were originally created for a hedge, but you'll find most firms are hedging with options. ES really looks like it just wants to get going here. We're still in this tight range. Most of this range is 50, 60, 70 points. Say tight, that's quite a lot, isn't it, really? But tight in this market. Tight range when we're doing 350 point gap ups. VIX at low of day. QQQ at VWAP. SPY not far from a high of day breakout. ES the same, obviously, as SPY. So market just building liquidity. It is building liquidity. It wants to squeeze higher. I promise you this is looking for a squeeze higher. That's what it wants to do. The question is, are enough shorts trapped in this market to squeeze higher? Watching this closely now. Thinking about joining small size here as we start to reclaim the M1 flow zones. If it can prove itself. Through previous day high is a much easier trade, all right? Again, I wanted this second leg to be deeper so that we can use this liquidity and neckline for the break. Really simple, but if we're going to start to reclaim these and just grind up, these shorts are going to start covering. Lots of shorts would have attacked down here, but the deeper we went, would have been a deeper attack. We'll also now have an initial balance. All right, so IB low, IB high is high of day. So we can be in a rotational market until proves otherwise. So now you have to apply initial balance rules. IB rules, yeah, exactly, Miguel. IB rules. So trending outside of initial balance. Thanks, darling. And rotation inside of initial balance. What I would say is we're above VWAP and VWAP is at the IB low. So that is pretty much key, isn't it? We're holding VWAP and the IB low. So if it breaks, where does it want to go? Up. Wants to go upside. Buyers are in control right now. Like I said, higher time frame shorts are sweaty right now. If they got short in that close yesterday and held overnight, they are in pain. So higher causes more pain for them. What does the market want to do? It wants to inflict maximum amount of pain. Here goes ES. ES going for high of day here. Yes, Crawford in the initial balance. Yes, absolutely. The course is 20 hours. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot to get through. It's not like a 5-minute lesson. If you go to my website and you click through on the course to Teachable, it will show you all the modules and all the lessons. So you know what you're buying into if you're going to do it, right? Instead of blindly buying a course and thinking, I hope this is good. It literally tells you the title. I think it even tells you the length of each lesson. There's a lot to get through. Guys in the chat here can probably help a bit more. Guys who have done that can tell you the kind of depth to that course. Spent a long time creating it. Bias remains upside for me today. No, Jonathan. Discord's just for members. It's just for people who do the course. The reason for that is there's so much edge in Discord, and what we don't want to be doing is having people join who are not trading the same way. I think that's problematic. So everyone in Discord knows the rules, they know the setups, and therefore they can help each other. Even when I'm not there, they're supporting each other. They're making calls on the play. If I open that Discord up to people who haven't done the course, and suddenly you get people trading in different ways, seeing the market in different ways, it becomes a bit more problematic, you know? That's why I think free Discords, which are open to everyone, probably don't help. They probably confuse a lot of people more than anything. There's tons of ways of trading, right? There's loads of ways of trading, different to me, and that's fine. It's not that my way is the best way. It's just that this is how I like to trade, and I have a set system. So by doing the course, you learn that system, and then you have a support network in the Discord for free for life. Tyson saying, the coolest thing about the course for me was that by the end, my eyes were drawn to things on the chart that you were talking about to draw before you draw them. Yeah, exactly. Miguel says, it's a very detailed course. Alex starts bit by bit and then starts putting it all together. Amazing course, best investment, and I'm not trying to be a kiss ass. Thanks, Miguel. Yeah, it picks up slowly. If you've got trading experience, you probably think, oh, I'm just going to fast forward through the early lessons. But honestly, it's best you don't. It's best you go through them all bit by bit and build the blocks from the ground up, because it will help you get rid of bad habits. Hardest thing in trading is bad habits, right? So the hardest thing, we were talking about it in Discord yesterday, bad habits and psychology. You can learn how to trade, you can see the patterns, but can you execute? Can you stop yourself taking a trade when you shouldn't? Can you take the trade when you should? Can you leave your stop in? Can you stop going on tilt? All these things. So still rejecting, sorry guys, eating food while I'm trying to talk. Still rejecting previous day high here, holding initial balance low, probably midpoint of this range. So if we can hold, all right, this is your range. So far, failed breakout below, failed breakout above. Very similar to yesterday. I think it was yesterday we were talking about that. You have the meat of the range. We're failing to get underneath it. We're failing to get above it. Once that changes, we can have auctions or failed auctions or failed auctions. And if it doesn't change, if they're going to do this all day, seems unlikely, but if they are, what are they going to do? They're going to absolutely destroy options, right? You're going to get time decay in the Greeks in options. This is how you destroy options. Which is why I don't play options. Oh, Mindful Matters, that's very kind. Saying you're probably the best trader I've seen who explains it. Exactly, Luigi. Concepts can be simple. Executing it is a whole different ball game. So still looking good. In my opinion, still looking good. Here goes ES. ES to IBH. Watching this carefully now to see, am I thinking about joining momentum? Very, very careful here because we're at the top of this range. But here comes previous day high. I'd love to see a seller on the book higher. There are sellers at 100. There are 100 lots at 750. I want to see if there are sellers higher. Here we start to go. Here's previous day high. Do they reject this and just slam it all the way back down now at the edge of that range, or can they get that breakout and pop through? ES traded up to IBH. Did it get through it? It got through it just about. It needs to trade up to 35 for a breakout. But that flag that we just talked about starting to pay here. But again, here's the edge of the range. Not above it yet for that squeeze out. Love to see that squeeze out. Aim for this liquidity, get above, and then go. That would be a beautiful trade. The question will remain, are enough shorts trapped in this market to initiate the squeeze higher? It will become obvious because it will be violent if it does it. Looking good here. It needs to drive. Here it goes. So can we start driving? Beautiful. So as you can tell, probably I'm adding into this. I'm looking for a move through 80s if it can get going. And then through high of day. If it can't get going, I'll just stop out and have another attack at it. Still holding previous day high. If it turns previous day high into support all the way down to 550, 551, I think then we can rotate high of day. I'm watching ES. If ES gets a failure here in that IBH, I want to be very careful about a rotation. Right? If ES fails to break and hold here and does this, then I'm going to be very careful about this move here. ES needs to get going. Remember, we need strength in the market. Moving my stop in, just going to relax here. Very careful here. I've got a very tight stop, very small size, because I know I'm buying the edge of the range to the wrong side right now. Looking for momentum. Break even here. We'll re-add if it soaks. If it shows me it wants to go higher, I'll re-add. That's got to be my second break-even trade of the day. One more of those and I'm probably done, because normally when I get to 3 break-even trades, frustration starts to build. Thumper said, great detailed course. I'm able to see lots on the charts now. Definitely able to follow lots better on the stream, and it builds confidence when you can see the setups. Great room with lots of edge. Thank you, Thumper. Very kind. Do you look at the VIX and Dixie like me when you're trading ES? Yeah, I'm always watching the VIX. I used to look at the Dixie more, but we've been risk on the Dixie while being risk on the market recently. So I haven't been paying so much attention to it. But the VIX I'm looking at all the time. Like VIX currently trading underneath IBL, and it rejected previous day low. And it's in an old demand pocket, or on the underside of it. So I'm watching that all the time. But Dixie has not been as useful recently. It did tag previous day low today, but it really has not been a clean indicator. We've just been market pump, Dixie pump, Bitcoin pump, gold pump, bonds pump. Something had to give, the market gave. The website would not let you see chapters. Really? Let me see this. Let me see this. Did you click all the way through? If you click the buy link. Yeah, it does. If you click buy, here are all the chapters. As you can see, with the timings on each one. It is not a small course, right? It's a very, very long course. But don't be scared of it. It's built to help you. But you have to click, if you click the buy link on the website, I need to change that because it's 649. My web team haven't done that, and I have to change that. Sorry about that. But if you click the buy link, it would take you all the way through. How much for one chapter? Still holding gains here, but on the edge, it stopped me out. Break even. Maybe needs to build more liquidity before it does it. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to do it without me today. Which is all right. It's fine. Buyer on the book, right, has just come on at around 80s, 480s. So he's on the bottom side of that edge towards the VWAP. Sellers on the book, they're still up there, right? 750 and above 750, there's 230 lots just sat up there. Remember, that would be the move that we would love into this supply pocket. That'd be a great movement. This is not big supply up here. If we can do something like this, and then this build out here, maybe a little trap, then we can do that move later in the day. If it fails to do it, maybe we can think about that come Monday. The reason I'm looking at that supply pocket up there is just based on the higher time frame on the H1. Here is supply. All right, base, drop, base, all the way down. I'm going to draw this for you so you can see the patterns we did all the way down. Wow, trading view is going to be a pain in the ass. All the way down, W pattern, held, up, pullback, hold, up, pullback, hold. This would be completion of the move, basically. If we then base up here, we'll be looking for something like this next week and a run back to highs. If it steals and trades inside, then we're going to continue the higher time frame daily downtrend. Move this down. There we go. It's a bit easier for you to see like this for next week. Bit of a crappy morning today. Sorry about that, team. Not much I can do. Nvidia's still climbing, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, nice push over pre-market highs. So it's previous day highs. Sorry. Previous day highs up into 138.75-ish. A break through that, then you can attack previous day pre-market highs, which will take you all the way up into 140. So yeah, Nvidia getting a very, very nice bounce there. Tesla failing its IB, going to trade all the way back into previous day high now. See if it can find a bid there. Let's go along. Meta getting absolutely slapped. Google basing out around VWAP. Potential bear flag to move lower there on VWAP. Amazon got hammered off VWAP. Microsoft the same. Apple trying to base, but yeah, I'm not in love with what I'm seeing on the Mag 7. This was the danger today. Was that a pump to dump in the market? If you look at the Mag 7 yesterday, if we think about how the Mag like to move, or how any stock likes to move, they move in waves. So if I just draw this out really quickly for you. Yesterday, we did this, right? A big reaction. Today, pre-market, we did this back to these areas. So what's this? This could be continuation of downtrend, right? 1, 2, 3. We could do this on the Mag 7. So if they're going to sell this, there's opportunity to at least come and retest yesterday's area where they found buyers. That's the problem right now in the market, is value buyers, guys like me who want to buy lower because we're cheapskates, we want to buy all the way down here. We missed this opportunity. We need the market to come back down here for us to have a cheap buy. It's not doing it. So now we need shorts trapped in the market for us to squeeze higher. If they fail to trap shorts in the market, there's not a lot I can do here. We're trading right at the midpoint at the initial balance. 50% of the New York session, we're trading at it right now. That 50% mark is also previous day high, that red line. It's a choppy day. It doesn't make for a great stream. I'm really sorry. But if you were here Monday to Friday, we've had some bangers on stream. Not every day is going to be the same. I still think this wants to squeeze higher. Setting up another flag here to go. ES looking great now. ES looking really good, above IBH. Can it hold its gains? That's the question right now on the market. Do you get a failed auction or an auction higher? Throwing food all over myself now. So failed breakout there so far. Can still hold its gains. Dips can still come in here and try and soak. I've literally just thrown oats all over myself. Like a child. Like an absolute child. Right, if we hold PDH here, can't handle his oats. They're quite right. If we hold PDH, we can have an attempt. But so far this morning, everything above here has failed. Everything below here has failed. Here is your range. So we need a push, a pull, a base, a rotation. That would be our bullish bias. ES on a 5-minute chart. Trying to hold its gains above initial balance high to go higher. Remember, my bias is still to go higher. I would love lower because I'm a cheapskate and then I can buy a trap low. But right now, it doesn't feel like it wants to go lower. So my bias is still higher. Momentum says higher. If we go to other time frames, push, pull, push. That's a normal move, right? So if we can get a way of getting involved in here for a move up into supply, take a partial, runners to the next supply level. That would be the ideal scenario. Al Sam Jr. It is from the New York Open until 10:30. So it's the first hour of trading. You can do it for each session, right? If you're a trader in London or Asia, you can do it for that as well. Depends what market you're trading. But for the market I trade, it is New York. I trade New York, so I'm interested in the first hour of New York. There is a video for free on my YouTube where I go through it all. Let's do a little check on stream. How many of you are green today? If you're green, push a G maybe. If you're red, press R. And if you're neutral or flat, just press white. Do a W for white. I'm interested. Nice, Tyson. Good work. Most of you are green, it seems, which is great. We've had a couple scalps, haven't we? But not much else. Love it. Love it. No worries, Idris. That's a tiny loss. You're fine. Good work. Good work controlling that. Flat for small caps trader. You were naughty yesterday, TR. Does that mean you broke some rules? Most of you are up or flat or 1R down. Like, no big damage. That's fine. Overchilled trading in tilt. Very common. What caught you? Do you know what caused your tilt? What was your trigger? Was it too many losses in a row? Was it the market going your way without you? Do you know what the cause was? If you can figure out what the cause was, it will help you in the future. Still looks good for upside here. Really looks good for upside. I'm going to have to zoom out on the ES and see where some supply is here. ES looks like it wants to come and attack 45, I would say, in my opinion. That would be max pain level 1. So from where we are right now, 37 all the way to 45 on the ES. And if we get that all the way up into 68. Just drawing some supply blocks over here on the ES, so I'm just understand where we are. Yeah, it looks good here, ES, coming into its first level of supply now. Q's weaker. Why are the Q's weaker? Because the Mag 7's not doing much. You undersized and then oversized to compensate. Stupid stuff, yeah. Very common. Undersized for your first move, don't make enough money, then you oversize in the next move and get absolutely slapped. Well, good discipline for you for not trading today. Having a look, scan around that M15 chart. M15's an interesting one. We're just failing off the old M15 wick low at 930. And so basically that low is holding us down at 930. Effectively, I'm guessing. Let's do a 15-minute chart here if it's the same. This right here. We're failing off these. We cannot print through these yet. VWAP, probably the buy of the day, that IB low. Probably the buy of the day down here. Probably this move here. The buy of the day so far. Yeah, Khalees, that's it. That's what's tricky right now. ES into the start of supply, NQ failing to move higher. VIX also, by the way, just got a bid, right? So it's traded all the way back inside its initial balance. Watch that ES 45 to 50 area. Yeah, I mean, I have ES marked out 37. I just marked it out to 45.75, and then a bit of room to expand. If it wants to do max pain next, it would be 63 up to 68.50. Might as well call it 70. But so far, rejecting off the start of that supply. I marked that out based on an H1. If you look at H1, basically where we are now, and then we have a wick high. So these wicks started where we are sort of now, but every push into 37 and above has failed on the ES. Now, I'm not talking about this session. I'm talking about numerous sessions ago where we created supply up here. If we can get through those guys, though, we can inflict max pain and force them to cover and squeeze out. What's tricky today is with Monday off and Trump coming in next week, do we get that pump next week? Do you get a short covering rally today, or have we already seen that? Is that what we saw this morning? Was it a short covering rally? You have equal highs here now, which I expect to get run. Was that a short covering rally this morning which caused us to go up this high? So was it all the shorts from yesterday who are like, I'm no way holding into a bank holiday and Trump getting in, causing this move? A new hourly candle coming here in 2 minutes. We're basically trading right at and around point of control, just over it. But as you can imagine, lots of volume being built up here. I haven't changed this hourly chart since we started the session. So you'll notice I was looking for pullbacks into and around this area if that fails down to here. So far, we're holding. Maybe we get some liquidity now for the next few minutes into this new hourly candle. Very much looks like that way. All right, so now starting to clear out. clearing out all that liquidity. ES starting to dig deeper into that supply. So those equal highs just got ran. Thank you, CC. Glad you're learning here. A lot of traders who went long at the election have been squeezed out. I mean, I don't think we even fully closed that election gap. So if you were long in that pump on election night, you probably sold some and you can probably just sit in your position. We haven't fully closed that gap. If you went long after we'd done the pump, yeah, for sure, you've got destroyed. But I think if you look at the volume, most were long on like pivot lows. Remind me the date of that election pump. I think it was around November 4th, 5th. Is that it? November 6th? Is it Wednesday, November 6th? Is that the start of it? Or was it later? Was it 27th? One of these days. I want to say just because of the volume, it was the 6th. So new H1 candle here, team. All right, new H1 candle here. So how do they act on this pullback? Do they pull back into point of control and able to hold and around here? Or do you get a failure deeper and a sweep of these lows? Remember, this H1 swept this low to trade upside. Do we pull back now and hold to trade upside or not? Or are we just going to chop sideways and burn absolutely all the options, traders? Election was the 5th. Let's have a look at the 5th of November. Yeah, what did I say? 6th, 5th, 6th? Yeah. So that big move up. So we never even closed that gap. So if you were swing long then, you should be okay. You probably added on that dip into Friday, November the 15th, and after that, so 19th and onwards. And now we're in a 1, 2. This is a third leg down. 1, 2, 3, 3 legs down. If we start to break out here on a daily point of view, and you've been able to add on dips and hold, then you look good for that rotation back towards the highs. Remember, from a daily, we're still technically in a downtrend, but we are starting to break out here. So 1, 2, 3. If we start to pivot above here, we go and search for new highs. And then that election, everyone who is long the election, might not show it on here. Oh, it will do. Is on the 5th. Around here. All right, that's the election gap all the way down here. So if you were swing long here and added on these dips, then you're looking good. All this really is a pullback into this area here. So if this holds from a weekly standpoint and stuff, we can go higher. Market can go higher if it wants. What time are you back? All right. Okay. Cleat, 100-point drop on ES on the 1st. Is that 7th of the 1st? You do it the other way around for me. Yeah, 100-point drop. But like if you're looking higher time frame, or if you're looking higher time frame, you're going to sit through those. If you're swing long higher time frame, you don't mind. It doesn't matter as long as your stop's in the right place. Technically, swing long stops on ES are all under 5726. So might as well call it 5725. That is the swing stops who got in for that election move. That's where they're sat. There's flat bottoms down there. All the time we protect that. I'm talking about higher time frame institutional traders. They are comfortable. So ES right into that first level of supply here. I'm really like struggling to have the impetus to trade right now, even though this is your first breakout and retest technically of this area. All right, this was the range. Finally, we got out and above. The problem is H1 might want to drag down to 77,250. So here is kind of point of control and old H1. So if it holds this, maybe I'm really losing impetus to trade this on a Friday now. An hour left till lunch. It's a little bit lackluster. Thank you, John. Very kind of you. Divergence, ES and NQ? Yeah, absolutely. NQ's at high of, not at high of day. ES is. The reason for that is tech slightly weaker. Banks have been strong all week. We've had that divergence all week. So NQ has been easier to fade. ES has been easier to buy. You would have seen that yesterday. ES held on to its initial balance most of the day yesterday, even when the NQ extended the range to the downside. So that's all because of bank earnings this week. Yeah, exactly, TR. Nice squeeze down, golden pocket. If they soak this, they can go higher from a higher time frame point of view. You're right. There's lots of stops there at 5. What did I just say? It was 5,750 or whatever it is on the ES. Tons of stops there, but they've shown a willingness to protect it. You're welcome, John. You're welcome. Thank you for being so kind. Go and get a nice lunch with that later. Sorry, the stream's been a bit more lackluster today, team. Been a harder trader today. We just chop and chop and chop and chop. And what I don't want to do is end the day badly on a Friday. I'm up some nice money off those scalps we took. Idris, no, not right now. I haven't attacked it for a while. I have to get it up on my screen. Where was my last play? Last play was like in and around here that we did on stream. Nothing else. So far, it looks like it's trying to hold this to go higher. It's just showing an unwillingness to do it. And with ES being at the point it is, it becomes a little bit tricky. Looks like it wants to do it. Like we've been saying it. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. I said if we break out and hold this, we should want to trade higher technically. Because this is where shorts are. This is where their stops are. So they become buyers in the market. We should trade upside from a technical standpoint, but it's really not making it easy. Those dips there into previous day high, already paying you 20 points. If you took that into flow zones into previous day high, we are starting to get separation here from momentum and deep pullback. So if we start to increase separation, we might have a move back to IB high and that New York Open. But so far, nowhere near that New York Open. Still have those 100 lots, 130 lots sitting at 21,750. So 150 odd points higher. Here it goes. Looks like it wants to trade higher now, doesn't it? Let's think about this. Want to be careful because ES, if it's going to attack that wick at 45, it can sweep it and fail. And if ES is going to do the hard work, what I don't want to do is enter so late that it attacks that wick, fails, and then I get trapped in the NQs. So trying to be cautious, probably overly cautious today, if I'm honest. Marek, thank you so much. Both Marek and John giving me some nice lunch money, coffee money today. I'll go and grab a beer later. Thank you. Thank you very much. What's everyone doing this weekend? What's your plans this weekend? I'll be watching the Rams and then the Bills on Sunday with some friends. Watch Arsenal tomorrow. Hopefully we can continue to close the gap at the top of the Premier League. And what's everyone's plans? Anyone doing anything fun? Something away from the screens, hopefully. Get away from the screens. So some liquidity here at 600. Traveling, nice. Traveling anywhere fun? Continuing, every pullback into flow zones now starting to soak, right? We're continuing to get those kind of upside moves. We want to be careful here if ES starts to fail in its supply block. Going down south to London. What are you doing in London? Anything fun? Jiu-jitsu and hanging out with the kids, Tyson? That sounds like a good weekend. So ES struggling there in that start of the supply block. Didn't take that liquidity, so struggling so far. Q's coming back down to flow zones. Do they liquidate this and come into previous day high now? Said have to be very, very cautious here. Off the charts to clear your mind here. Good for you, mate. Really important as traders that we do that. Can get so easy to get sucked into the charts on it. Very, very easy to do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Weekend full of football. Those are the weekends I like. Full of sport. Full of sport. So it's still protecting previous day high. Still holding flow zones. Don't love the look of this in general though. A little bit ugly. A little bit of an ugly session. Lots of chop. Still think we want to go higher. But need ES really to go up and take out 45. That's what I'd need to see in the market really. Women's basketball. Okay. Where's that based, BU? Are we going to do this squeeze now? ES looking like it wants to have a little look up there. Not joining any of this, just watching. Yeah, where's that unrivaled? Is that how you say it? Unrivaled league? Is that an American league or European league somewhere? All the women's LA team live in my building during season. It's quite daunting walking around these like 6'2" to 6'6" athletes. They're really sweet, really nice ladies. Became friends with one of them and their husband. Forget her name. Met her mother, who lives here, and then looked her up and realized she was super duper famous. I had no idea. Being a Brit, I don't really follow basketball, so it's probably refreshing for them that someone. I literally was asking them like what they do. So what do you do? Like, are you serious? I'm the most famous female basketball player on the planet. Morning, Foster Scott. Oh, cool. So created by ex-WNBA players, I guess. Three on three. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it was. I think it's Cameron Brink that lives here, but they all live here during season. I'm in Los Angeles. So I'm obviously close to the stadium, so they put the whole team up. But she's really nice woman. Her, I think it's fiance's good dude. Micro head and shoulder. Very high risk, mate. Flow zone saying upside. You could argue You could argue it into fibs. Just don't think momentum's necessarily on your side right now. I think all the shorts are trapped versus here right now, Tyson. So I think you're better off joining if it really proves. If it does something like this, and then you've got something nice to risk off. I think risking here, you're very open to a squeeze upside. But play you, do what you think. But like so far, if we think about pivots, no reason to short this yet, right? Nothing here to short yet. These are higher lows and these are higher highs. M5, make it really easy. There's your pivot, breakout, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Where does it want to go? Into this. So just be careful. I wouldn't be, personally, that's not a short I'd be willing to take right now. Anytime you're struggling to see the pivots and the patterns, just move to a line chart. Makes it so much easier. I can quickly move to a 5-minute line chart. If I want to short this, is the location good? It's not bad. Is the momentum good? No, not right now. Remember, you don't need to be early to a trade. You want to be right. So you want to be when momentum comes in. If you're early, you can get wicked out. There you go. You just said it yourself. Avoid the greed. Exactly, Foster Scott. Fridays do love to trend, and the ES is outside of its initial balance. The ES wants to move higher. And remember, start of the stream, what did we say today? What was the one thing we wanted to do? We wanted to be buyers in the market. I didn't want to buy up here. I wanted to buy a pullback. Ideally, I wanted a 2-leg pullback. It gave a 2-leg, but it wasn't very deep. And then we've had a couple attempts. We had an attempt here, and I probably should have been joining this trend for the move up, but I've locked in some good money. I'm probably a little bit risk off right now. It's if I don't get the moves I want on a Friday, then it gets trickier for me to hold because I like to leave the desk early on a Friday and getting out. Volume isn't helping longs. Well, ES is helping. And you don't need volume to necessarily always move upside. You just need trapped people. We can drift higher on low volume. We can drift higher on low volume. Imagine you're a short seller. You're short and then you stop out. And you're short and you stop out. And you're short and you stop out. This is how the market moves higher. It doesn't need bulls on parade here. It doesn't need bulls on parade. It just needs these shorts stuck. Yeah, ETFs, exactly. They're just grinding through, aren't they? So next level I have on the SPY is actually all the way up at 599.23, all the way up to that 600, basically 599.70. ES is actually into a bit of supply, but it's not there on the SPY because it's not an overnight or pre-market and extended hour session. It's Asia and London, a little bit of supply. Q's definitely weaker though. Q's weaker on the session. But much slower day today. Like we said, the best buy was off that IB low. The moment, look at the moment we set this IB low, we protect it. Okay, we set it. Protection. There we go. That was the buy. This was the buy. Hindsight 2020. That was the buy. Then there, then there. This retest wasn't bad, but we haven't had the power to get higher. If we don't go higher, it just means there's not enough shorts trapped. A small day for me. It's funny, isn't it? You get money dysmorphia. Small day. You're up $1,500 and you're like, yeah, that's crap. Trading so weird like that. Mustn't get money dysmorphia. It will really mess your head up. Don't know many jobs where I can sit here and chat to a community online for a couple hours and have a bad day up $1,500. So don't get money dysmorphia, all right? Locking in gains on a Friday especially is very good. Remember, if we want to trade back towards these H1 levels, we will. Watching these levels here. Here's your old breakout retest point, which we came into this morning. This is point of control, and this would be your RBS zone. So if they flag here for the move, this might not be today, but I'll be watching that in for next week. The fact that we're not breaking under here, the fact that this H1 swept the previous and traded up is pretty bullish. Lots of traders will play this H1 trap. They're buy underneath, looking for that move. It's a classic trap, same as we look for on the lower time frames. Exactly the same. Swing lows to be taken out and a trade straight back inside. That trap is the second leg of the pullback that we were looking for here, right? We wanted 1, 2, but it only came to here. If it came down here, it would have been even more juicy, because then we get like this, and then all these guys get trapped, and then we have shorts attacking here, and then we definitely go higher. The fact that we swept it by a tick is bit shitty, to be honest. Pardon my French, but it is. Okay, so still building liquidity here. We're still building higher lows. It can still trap more shorts in here for an expansive move. Doesn't mean I'm saying just blindly long this, but I would not be short in this team, okay? We are bullish. It will prove otherwise. If it gets stuck, you can get short here. You don't need to be first. You need to be right. You have to have good RR on your side. Hindsight pays eventually. No worries, Khalees. Great work. Good work showing up this week. So you're continuing to squeeze higher. Remember, the target is all the way up here. I hate going back looking at trades I missed. The setups always look so clean in hindsight. I wonder why I didn't see it in real time. Well, I wouldn't. Don't kick yourself, all right? And I wouldn't say this is the cleanest setup. Okay, so this is the trap low. So we go from here to here to here to here to expansion. You would have to be very quick in here to buy this and risk this for this. So it's only just about a 1.5R for that first move. It's not the easiest. I think we played this together for that move up. I think that's what we played. I definitely had a stab here and here. I think I played this. And then I was saying if it comes under 40s or 50s, which it did, and then I'm not in this long. So maybe just not really trusting the market on a Friday. But it would look good for continuation higher. Saying all morning, I'm not looking for shorts. I've been looking for buys. Not once today. There was a short here that you could have taken once I said they got trapped. But again, I said I'm not taking it. I want the long rotation. I want the pro trend. The pro trend today was a pullback long. Now we look good to go higher. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Tyson. You never need to be first, right? Think about a party. Do you want to be the first person into a party? You're standing there like a lemon. You feel like a dick. You get anxious. You probably drink too much because no one turns up. And maybe no one turns up at all, and then you feel like an idiot. Or you wait for the party to get busy. You walk in like a rock star, and you have the best night ever. Think about that with trading. Do you need to be first to this short? Ouch, this is boring, this is boring, this is boring. I'm in max pain. Or do you want to be to the party right on time and have a great time? That's what I'd want to be. Yeah, so don't be guessing tops and bottoms. You're imagining what Mr. Bean at a party all by himself with his teddy. Is that a thing in America? Do they even have Mr. Bean here? I have no idea. There goes ES. It's going to go and attack that wick high we talked about on the ES. That's what it wants to do. That first wick high looks good for a trend up towards 45. I had that somewhere around 45, 75, something like that. But yeah, you can see this breakout retest. I know it's a little bit ugly, but we said this area here needs to hold for buyers. So every dip held. Shorts weren't let out. So the best they could have was a break-even stop here. And now we trade higher. All right, so what do we say all day? To trade higher, shorts need to be stuck. They are absolutely stuck right now. They're stuck overnight. We zoom back. Does anyone, is there a eraser I can use? I thought there used to be one. Does anyone know if there's an eraser where I can just drag it over all of these, or do I have to actually click on every one of these to delete it? Gosh, it's going to take forever. The problem with drawing and educating, and I don't clean it up straight away, I forget, and this happens. Also going to get rid of these H1 lines. We don't need these anymore. Look at this market squeezing. Absolute ripper. Should have been in this. Should have been in this, Alex. This would have made my week. So approaching IB high now, not too far away. You are into that imbalance. Coming up towards the New York Open. ES has just taken the liquidity. So if you're in this long, congratulations. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit just in case ES wants to steal the liquidity and turn around. So just pay yourself a little bit in this move. Like we said, there is separation between the flow zones. We held this area here where shorts were stuck. We know we want to go and drive higher. Right click and I can do eraser. Can't see it. Under the crosshair. Oh, nice. All right, thank you guys. Super helpful for the future. Did any of you get this long? God, I'm kicking myself. So it's easy dips. Oh. It's what happens when I have a couple break evens looking for this move. I know I've got one more trade in me, and then it's a problem. Oh, John, I love it. I love it. You guys are trading this better than me. Lovely work. John Dennis, my first 4,500 times 3 day. Oh, fantastic work. Crawford got it. Idris got it. You might see some mean reversion tie, but I wouldn't bank on it on a Friday, honestly. Mean reversion comes when buyers legitimately want to sell. If swing buyers are thinking, okay, I've bought the lows this morning, shorts are trapped, we're going to go for that top Bollinger Band, we're going to go for that daily pivot. They have a ton of room to sit in this. If I was a buyer off the lows right now, I'd be thinking, okay, can we trade into 21,775? Can we trade into 21,900? Can we trade into 22,000? Are we going to get a Trump pump next week? Shall I just sit in this long and let all the shorts completely F themselves over, which is what's happening? This is why I wanted longs today. Go back to the very start of this video. I'm only interested in longs today. At no point did I say I wanted shorts. Christy, in it with one micro. Yeah, but that's all you need in this market, my friend. One micro from here to what's price is this to here, that's $100, over $100. Yeah, 50 points is $100. You get the 200-point move. 50 points is $200. Is $100. You get 100-point move. It's $200. That's all you need. You only need one micro in this. There you go, Tyson. So you got some there. So you went long. You went long after thinking about the short. So just remember that in your setup. The next time you like micro head and shoulder and you're looking at like that, just go, well, where's the neck? Have we broken down? Are we moving higher highs and higher lows? We are. What's momentum? What's the flow zones telling me? Where's the obvious level of liquidity? Where does the market want to go first? Go with the market trend. It's way, way easier. Nice clean breakout. Like we said, on the book, there is a 230 lot up at 750 and above. Yeah, daily chart does. I mean, technically, it's not bullish until we get above 21,900. But I absolutely agree with you, Ty. I would not be surprised if, from a daily point of view, this was it. This was the move back to here. All right. So if we think about big move up, pull back, that could be it. We could have set that in, and if we're going to do this and protect this, get outside of here, we can open up. I'm in agreement with you. That's why I wanted to be a buyer down here this morning. TP at the top of the imbalance. Yeah, if you're runners, watch the New York Open, watch the imbalance, and watch this high into 81. Just be careful. Like ES just swept the hourly high that we talked about, and is trading back 4 points back down from it. So just be careful. Remember, we have relative weakness in the Qs. If you've taken either these dips or this move, make sure you've paid yourself something and hold runners for the rest of it. This morning, BU, yeah, I mean, I would have loved deeper as well. I was saying that, 2-leg deeper, but sometimes we don't get what we want. When shorts are trapped, the market tends to just run, right? Because they are just forced to cover and cover and cover and cover and cover, and they just blow themselves up. It's the most common thing in the market. Shorts get trapped and they blow themselves up. Nice. Tyson says, done, thanks, coach. Choking times, because he is going to go and throw some people around doing jiu-jitsu now. Have a good weekend, buddy. And I'll speak to you Monday. So we've got 30 minutes left on stream or so. Market doing pretty much what we want. We would have preferred a deeper pullback. Of course we would have. But it's doing what we've called. Lots of you green on stream, which is great. Like I said, ES failing after taking that wick high. That wick high was at 45.75. We traded up to 49. We're finding some sell pressure there in front of 6,050. So that's why I was saying make sure you lock some in here on the NQ. Technically, on the NQ, technically, we are still in a range rotational market for the session. All right, just for the session, we're technically still inside of initial balance. ES is definitely not. ES is in a trending market. But technically, we are in range rotation, aren't we? So edges. We are trend outside of that, but very high risk at that point. Lovely work, Aid. Aid up now 3,000 times 5. Probably a good time to call it a day, I would say, Aid. That's a lot of money. $15,000 is a huge amount of money. Market's closed Monday. Yeah, Martin Luther King Day Monday. Market is closed. Yeah, exactly. Big dough. That's huge dough. Great work. So big pullback here to the area that we broke out from. Remember, ES has taken the liquidity. This move here on ES took the H1 liquidity. Yeah, I do track my win rate. Yes, track everything. So big pullback because this was a squeeze. So squeeze, no structure here until you get to here, remember. So big pullback. And again, like I keep saying, ES took the H1 liquidity. If that was its aim for today, was to take that H1 liquidity, it has completed, what should I say? Its process. It's completed what it needs to do today. Does that make sense? So it doesn't necessarily need to go higher on ES. If that's all its job was today, it's done it. Yeah, I think that's good, Aid. Just that's a lot of money. No need to like sit around and overtrade it, you know. Have a great weekend, bud. Have a great weekend. So fading back down, lots of liquidity here for it to come and sweep if it wants to into this deep pullback. Flow zones. Watching the H1, remember H1 can always trade down to old point of control, or current day point of control. ES getting a big fail off that move. So once it stole that liquidity, a big failure on the ES there. Yeah, we're Thumper. It gets really hard with that. There will be a Monday bar printed because we'll still print Asia and London. So we'll have to be a bit careful. Next week is likely to be a bit of an odd week in general. So we're definitely going to be careful with that weekly model. But we'll go over it next week once we can see what we're setting up for. Thanks, Aid. Have a great weekend. So retesting this area where we found buyers before. Okay, it's what the market is now doing. Do these buyers step up again? Or is it the end of it because the market has completed the move it wanted to do? Right, so into deep pullback. Remember, this is where buyers came in before. This is where shorts got stuck. This is where they got stuck again. This is the squeeze. This is your structure. There's no structure in here, is there? So this might be RBS. This resistance becomes support. If this is a pullback to go higher, that's your level. Still being supported by deep pullback. The only thing I'd be concerned about, like I said, is that ES took the key liquidity level it's probably searching for on the session. Nice tie. Just be careful when you pick tops like that. But hopefully you didn't pick this. Hopefully, if you're going to take a mean, you've got to have a stop in like versus here and an idea of where you're running down to. Can we get 4 more likes on a Friday? Let's get us to 50 before I leave and sign off with you all. If you want to help this stream, all right, you can share this stream with your friends and your fellow traders, because the more numbers we get on this stream, I said it yesterday, the more numbers we get on this stream, the more chance I can do some giveaways. I'm already in talks with some of the prop firms, especially Traderify, about doing some giveaways for people that turn up on the stream. So the more numbers we do, the more chance I'm going to have of giving back to you guys. I'd love to be able to give away some free accounts and stuff with some of these prop firms. So if we can help grow the stream quicker, that will help me help you. And for those who are new here, I'm here Monday to Friday. I'm normally on about 9:15, 9:20 in the morning before market open, Eastern time. We do a top-down analysis. I say what I'm looking for, and then we execute. We're green all week this week. I think one of my traders has just finished executing. Yeah, Foster Scott just finished his longs for the day. If you're still here, great work. Really nice, really nice, really nice work just reading that, Foster Scott. So dips still holding for now. Sellers will try and come in and make a lower high here and a lower low here. Dips hold, they will get squeezed out back to IB and the highs. Any questions, team? Any questions? We haven't got long left in this session. So is there anything you want to go through? Is there a reason you want to know why I was focused on longs today? Are you struggling to understand structure? Do you understand the flow zones? Do you have questions about the course? Questions about Traderify or any of the prop firms? It's not that hard, is it, really? When you think about it, here's your breakout. Don't chase the highs. we pull back in. This is where we know buyers are. Try and buy this, we sell some into this. If we hold this, we go higher. If they make a lower high here, they'll be looking for a lower low break and a liquidation. All right, so just try and make it really simple for yourself when trading. If you're struggling to see it, I keep saying it, go to a line chart. Look how easy this is on a line chart. This is your demand, right? Resistance became support. We came back in, we tagged it. Now we go to resistance. If we get through that, we'll be looking for a pullback in and a hold. Unless we liquidate this, then we're risk off at that point because we've achieved the goal. Remember, ES has already achieved its goal. William, do my indicators work with NinjaTrader? Okay, so at the moment, what we have is when you're a member of the room, we have a zip file, which you can upload all those indicators, which do the same thing as on TradingView. I'm currently working on having everything moved over for NinjaTrader so it can automate stuff for you as well. So a one-stop package, very much like this. Right, so right now it's just one thing. I'm working on having that done in NinjaTrader. It's just a different type of coding because this is PineScript and NinjaTrader is C#. So the answer is yes, but it's a little bit more complicated for now. And the answer is yes in a one-stop shop very shortly. What's the cheapest firm, including all the fees? When they've got a sale on, probably Apex. But currently, I would say probably Tradeify, I think. Yeah. Your real-time analysis and commentary is outstanding. Especially to being done on the fly in real time. Oh, thank you. Thank you, yeah. Well, we better see it in real time, eh? Otherwise, we can't trade it. So we've got to learn to trade it in real time. Elite trading, I don't know enough about elite trading, and I haven't heard great things about them either. So I'd be very, very cautious. Tradeify, for me, are the number one firm right now. All right, so I'm not gonna lie. Am I an affiliate with them? Yes, I am. Take Profit Trader. I like Take Profit. I like that they've changed some of their rules. You can use code FlowZone at Take Profit to get the best discount. But currently, I really like Tradeify. So with Tradeify, there's 3 different options of accounts. You can have 5 different accounts live. They'll move you to live funding. They pay out very, very fast. They have a good platform. The back end of it is absolutely amazing in terms of a trading journal. It's just everything you want from a prop firm. No bullshit, no rubbish, just a really, really good one. Bullnox. Yeah, I know a few of my team are trading with Bullnox. I've not traded with them. No worries, Thumper. Great work this week. And I'll see you Tuesday. I'm sure we'll talk Monday and over the weekend, but I'll see you Tuesday. Yeah, exactly, Crawford. Tradeify has a really good journal. Very powerful, Tradeify. Honestly, it's not even that much more money, but it's just worth it to know that you're going to get paid out. When you put a request in, if you've achieved the goals, you're going to get paid out, right? There's no rule on like DCA or sizing or anything like that. It's just a consistency rule. Just turn up, be consistent. That's it. Put in your request for money. It will be there in hours. On Tradeify, how do I handle the intraday drawdowns? I don't trade intraday drawdown accounts on Tradeify. Right, so I have the other account, so I don't have to worry about that. I do have them on Apex, and the way I deal with it on Apex, there's 2 ways to handle intraday drawdowns. There's 2 ways. One, undersize and be calm and let the trade play out. All right. So where people blow up is they oversize on an intraday drawdown, because let's say let's try and think about this. Let's say you bought this morning with 2 minis, right? And your stop was here, but it executed your stop here. You just give back so many points. You're probably done for the day already. And one more of those trades and you're blown up. And even if it goes your way, let's say when they do the fast moves, let's say you're long in this and you didn't take your profit and it comes back and you're out break even, again, you're in big trouble, right? You're in massive, massive trouble when it does that. If you're not sizing too heavy, right, you can allow this to work out. And if it doesn't, you know, get all your money off here and it comes back down, it's not a big deal. It's oversizing that will kill you in intraday drawdowns. The other thing to do is, like, you're long here, it moves up, you move your stop under here. It moves up, stops here. It moves up, stops here. It moves up, your stop remains here. This is your swing point. Then this is your swing point. Then you get knocked out. So you don't move as much. So you just move a trailing stop based on previous candles, open, high, low, and closes. It's the easiest way to do it. So sizing and moving your stop. That's how I do it. But yeah, with Traderify, you don't need to worry about it. Well, there's one account that you do. There's 3 different accounts on Traderify. I don't trade with the ones that require it, but let me just find it. All right, so here is Traderify. So straight to funded, you don't have any of that. Straight to funded right now, I think it's either 30 or 35%. I'll check in just a second, discount. But you can do the growth, right? With the growth, if you want to do an eval, you don't have a trailing drawdown. All right, so it's left, it's end of day. Let me just zoom this up. Will it zoom it? All right, with the growth accounts, it's an end of day drawdown. With straight to funded, it's end of day drawdown. With advanced, it's intraday. Right, so you can still do evals cheaper and do end of day drawdown if that's what you want to do. So that would be the equivalent of, I don't know, the same rules as trading with Top Step. Yeah, and with the correct, with the growth, that's the other thing people don't realize. With the growth account, right, where there's no intraday drawdown, there is no activation fee. So I don't know what the discount is right now. Let me have a look right now what the discount is. So it's 50% off now, I think. 50% off advanced and growth using code FZT. I think that's correct. And no end of day drawdown. And no activation fee. Whereas if you do the advanced one, same percent off, but you still have the activation fee. Right, so if you don't want to deal with that end of day drawdown, just do the growth or do straight to sim funded. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is what I was saying. Once we achieved, remember, ES took the liquidity, so I was a little bit less inclined to buy dips and hold. So I was saying, if you buy this dip, you sell into this pot because you know now sellers are up here. And what did I say? They will try and create a lower high here and a lower low. This would be 1, 2 leg down. Can they absorb this for the run back up? Here's your liquidity. This is buyers who bought the breakout and trapped sellers. Once we get under here, we move into a bearish market. All the time they absorb this, we have the ability to trade back upside. So understanding your time parameter and what you're in. All right, this made sense. This buy made sense, and this potential sell made sense. And now I'd be risk off everything, just waiting. The biggest clue here was this on ES took out the H1. If you don't know what I mean, I would just quickly show you just to make it easier for you. Let's just take these off, move to a 1 hour, zoom across. Where was the resting liquidity? This guy here. This was the goal. This was shorts max pain. If you were short here and you added there. Your stops there. They just ran those short stops. Unless they get a through and a base above for this drive up, this might be it. It might be done for the day and a return back inside to this level. Yeah, so understanding the goals. You've got to understand the goals of the market. The goals are to create liquidity and search for liquidity. This morning, we spent all this time creating liquidity, and then it went and searched for it. The search for it was on ES today. That was the clue. The search for it was on ES. It's done its obligation. It can move higher still. There's more liquidity above, but it became probable, and we talked about it, zoom back. When we're doing this move, I was like, you've got to sell into this as the H1 on the ES steals liquidity. Right, so now you're looking for 1, 2. Do we hold, go back upside? I wouldn't be trading in this area. If we get convincingly underneath, then maybe there's a rotation back down. Catching up with you guys again. Does Tradeify Growth Evaluation use live market data or sim data? Sim data, I understand. It's all like live data, but you're trading sim on all of those accounts until they move you to live. You get moved to live after your 4th payout. Do any of the props allow swing multi-day overnight? Yeah, that's what I was asking. None of the current ones. Once you're live, they will. Once you're live, but not in sim format. Once you're live, I'm sure there are some like definitely on the ETFs. Hang on, bear with me. I think Trade the Pool has a swing section. I don't know if they do futures, but definitely for ETFs and stocks, I'm pretty sure there is a swing ability to swing on that. Any more questions, folks? Like I said, my feeling is we've probably achieved the main goal. If it wants to go higher, it can. If this is the 2-leg pullback to go higher, that's great. I'm not going to participate in this anymore. I've made my money for the day. I'm happy just chilling out. I should have participated in this. So this is how my brain goes. I tried this snap long for the trade up, took some money. I think it was that one, or maybe it was this one. I think it was this one. Took some money, stock break even. Had another go here and didn't give it enough room and took a break even. And then I had one more go and took break even somewhere around here. So I've locked in decent money, but I've had a couple break even attempts. I know for my triggers, once I start having multiple break even attempts, the risk of me going on tilt dramatically increases. Because I get frustrated, because I know, I've talked about it on stream, oh, if we hold this area, we should go higher, but I've taken a break even, and we do it. Now I know, okay, well, we've done it without me. The risk now is me oversizing here to try and get this move where we've already taken low-hanging fruit and then getting dunked on and then getting really pissed off. What's the worst day to lose on? Friday is the worst day to lose on. Why is it the worst day to lose on? Because then you have to stew on it. And this weekend, even worse. Then I'd have to sit red Saturday, Sunday, and Monday kicking myself for not sticking to rules, right? I know my tilt factor. That's where my tilt factor is. Too many break evens, tilt factor goes up. Do you trade live accounts? Yes, but the main money I trade live is my own portfolio, and most of that money is in ETFs. Right now, it's in cash. I will kick myself if this market doesn't move lower. I'm going to be honest on the ETFs. I probably was a little bit scared to buy. I was convincing myself we were going to move lower in the markets for me to scoop up some better deals, but let's see. So most of the time when I'm swinging and trading live, it is in ETFs. And commons, not in options, just in commons. How does the 20% consistency rule work? Well, you get paid every 10 days. 20% would be suggesting that you be consistent for 5 days. So if you need to make, depending on the size of the account, so if you're doing $9,000, the quickest you can do $9,000 in is 10 days. So if you just did $900 a day, that would be 10%, well within the consistency rule. The max you should make each day is $1,800. All right, so that would be over 5 days. You'd hit 20% consistency. If you make more than that, it doesn't matter. Don't freak out if you make more than that. You just have to trade a few more days. So don't worry about it too much. Don't worry. Just what they don't want you to do is some days using 5 lots, some day using 1 lot, some day using 10 lot, adding into losers. You can use as much size as you want, but if you do that, you're doing this all the time in terms of profit factor. So they're just looking for you to like try and trade some level of consistency. When was the last time you were on tilt? I was saying to the team, I felt tilt. I want to say it was earlier this. I think it was earlier this week. I could feel it in one afternoon session, really starting to ramp up. And again, it was because lots of failed attempts where I'm not necessarily losing money. I'm losing like half an hour, 1 hour, half an hour back, break even, just like, and it not going my way. And then it went my way without me. And I remember shouting at the screen. It's the first time I've done it for ages. And I'll tell you what I did. The moment I caught myself shouting, I logged off. I was like, I'm not fucking watching this the rest of the afternoon. I've lost my head now. I'm out the game. You can see when I trade, I'm very calm. I'm reading market. I'm telling you what I'm thinking the market's going to do. If I'm at a point where I'm raising my voice at the market in anger, I have to leave, because anger is not an emotion you want around you when you're trading. You need to be super calm. You need to be thinking super quick, very, very quick, especially in a fast moving market with good range. Right? Like now, let's say I'm angry now, and for some reason I decide I'm going to buy this against all the odds, and then I add in here, and then I'm like, fuck you, and I add in more and more. I've just undone a month's worth of work in one move down. You cannot let yourself get to that point. We all done it. We have all done it. And some of you will continue to do it. You have to find ways of being methodical in fixing that. Catch you later, Foster Scott. Great long today, mate. I saw that in Discord. Great work. No problem, Christy. The market is trying and attempting to find a bid here. The 5-minute flow zones on the ES are trying to hold up. It has not come and back tested its IB. It's been able to sustain bids on the ES above the IB. What's interesting, though, is the VIX is traded back inside the range. Not something I want to see. So VIX is not beneath its IB. It's within it. Not something I would like if I'm thinking about long continuation right now, watching that VIX. It's a bit of a clue there. VIX starting to try and explode upside now, back into the range. Not what I'd want to see if I'm thinking about a long. There's a good chance that we get a bit of a dunk coming up here. Watching them go risk off on the VIX as we get closer to lunch. There you go. So there's the bigger sell candle coming. How long have I been trading? Well, I started when I started almost 20 years ago playing around, and then I almost did it as a career. So it's very close. I got offered a couple jobs out in Cairo and Dubai, actually, at the time. Fell into a music career, which was fantastic. And then during my music career, started investing and started reading books. I've first of all interviewed for a role at Morgan Stanley when I was 22, 23. And a guy called Marwan put me on to very, very early when I was that age onto Market Wizard. So I'd always shown an interest and then started playing around a little bit. Had some money, had a pretty decent career in music. So started investing a little bit, probably over the last 15 years, and then took it very, very seriously the last 6 or 7, I'd say. Luigi says, I'm always emotional trading. I've been thrown out of Starbucks many times for foul language when placing trades in their shop. I shouldn't laugh at that, but that is funny. What are you doing trading in Starbucks? Their internet's crap. Surely you can't get good execution there, buddy. Surely you can't. The red line got a big cybersecurity test on Sunday. I haven't been trading much, but wanted to stop by and say hello. Hello, Redline. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck in your test. Good luck in your test. So that's your main job, I'm guessing. That's your bread and butter. Was I in a band? I was in a DJ duo, yeah, and a production duo. Just lost the chat bar. Where has it gone? So I can read the rest. There we go. Christy, I'm debating whether to use my own money and just trade micros or spend the money and buy straight to sim funded accounts, trying to see what's best. My advice here, Christy, would be to go straight to sim funded. The reason being is your risk exposure will be less and your leverage will be higher. And you'll also have to stick to their rules, and that will stop you, or should stop you, from making some bad decisions. And then as you start to pull money out the market, you can always stick that into your own personal live account. That would be my advice. Obviously, the downside to doing that is you can't take swing positions, but you'd have to increase your leverage, or you'd have to increase your amount of capital in that account fairly substantially, even to swing overnight on micros, because your margin requirement overnight is different to your margin requirement during the day. So if you're not looking to swing positions, I would say just go to a straight to sim funded or straight to funded account. Use the code FCT and it would get you, I think it's 30% off at the moment, something like that. So it'll save you a bit of money there. Jonathan Mooney, I have some take profit accounts in eval. I have to hit 9k profit with 4,500 drawdown. How many contracts would you be using to hit that? One right now. One mini is more than enough in this market right now. Just TPT, you have to trade for 5 days. Is that right? So just break that up. You don't need to do it in 5 days, but you have to do it in at least 5 days. I think that's correct, unless they've changed it, Jonathan. So break that up. 900 a day over 10 days is all you need. One mini, you will easily do that. You don't need to use more than that right now. So like I said, watching the VIX gave me the clue here that this market was going to roll over a bit. If you look at the VIX, anyone trading the VIX, we traded back inside of the initial balance. We're trading back upside now. I would not want to be risk on in a market if the VIX is trading upside. I've only been trading 1 year and I was able to achieve 20 PA accounts, but I'm stuck at that. I can't seem to get to the point of getting a payout. I think it's mindset thing that I can't get past. Well, it's probably two things. Trading eval is easy because mentally you can push it around, push some size around, but now you're in a PA, you know that that's your capital at risk. So all you've got to ask yourself, do you have a defined setup and strategy? If you've got a setup and strategy that you play, stick to that, because you should have back tested it and you should know that that's giving you a good profit factor. If that's the case, you've got to remove the emotion and you've got to play the trade in front of you. If you don't have a setup and strategy, you are just pissing in the wind and hoping it will go your way. So if that's the case and you've still got 20 PAs that are live, leave those PAs alone and go back to sim and just figure out what your strategy is and make sure you feel confident and comfortable taking a trade, and then go back to those PAs when you're ready. Luigi saying he's traded at McDonald's, libraries, hair salons, Home Depot. How are you trading in Home Depot? Parking lots. My laptop's always with me. That's funny. That's funny. No worries, Christy. Yeah, 50% consistency in 5 days. So I would just break it down, mate. Break it down to, 20%. Maybe shoot for 10 days or longer. Don't force it. It will come when it's ready. Don't force it. By 900 a day over 10 days, that's all you need. One mini in this market is more than enough. More than enough. We're getting 100-point moves very regularly. That's $2,000 that you'd lock in on that. You don't need too much size. So here is the dip back down into point of control. Before we leave, we're probably into the new hour. I've lost time here. Here's the dip back down into point of control. This point of control is the old RBS. This was the area that we were thinking, if they hold up, can be a potential buy today. So are we, like I said, this was a trap low underneath this. Are we going to build new hourly bullish structure for this move up here? Failure of that point of control, maybe we come and attack these hourly lows. So failure under here and here, we can print all the way back down. But ideally, I selfishly want it to do this for the rest of the day, because then come Tuesday, I have a setup to play. So a little bit selfish of me, but that's what I would like for the rest of the day. That's what I want to see. Holding PDH here as well. And that last dip on the ES went wick to wick with its 930 high print. So that's a good sign. If it holds that, potentially it might want a bull flag and go back upside later on in the session. Last chance to get your questions in, team. And then I'm going to get off for the day. Walk my dog, go to the gym, catch up with some friends, get off the screens. Those in Discord, I won't be there later today. I'm going to take Friday off and just relax. Remember, it's a bank holiday weekend, so no trading on Monday. If you do trade Monday in the Asia and London sessions, it's likely to be very thin. Just remember that. Martin Luther King Day. So New York traders won't be there. No problem, Christy. No problem. All right. Thanks for trading with me, everyone. Hopefully you locked in some good money. We had some nice trades today. Not the best trades. I didn't execute anywhere near as well as some of you. Some of you were very, very good today. Really impressive. And we will be back Monday. No, we won't. We will be back Tuesday. And we'll see what we get next week. Let's see. Next week's a big, big week in the market. A change of presidency should be a fun week. It's likely to be a very volatile week. So again, I'm going to continue to say it. You have to watch your size in this market. If you oversize in this market, it is going to punish you. It will take no prisoners, this market. Right, you saw yesterday, at the end of the day, I think there was like a 200-point drop very, very quickly. Cannot oversize in those moves. Have a great weekend. Use hard stops if you're going to sit here and trade the rest of the day. Be cautious. Understand where the liquidity is. Stick to the rules. Peace and love. See you Tuesday.